Do you want to know how, as a speaker, you can monetize your presence in YouTube in the fastest way possible? There's two attractive legs of a virtual speaker. One of them is going to be having a strong online profile, and the other one is going to be having quantity, and once again, quantity of video content. I think you're going to find this information incredibly interesting. We have been doing videos on a daily basis already for a number of months. So far, we have already received our notification from YouTube that we have 500 uploads. Have we been paid so far? No. We are in what is called right now a YouTube orbit. What is a YouTube orbit? A YouTube orbit is the time that you actually start building your credibility inside of YouTube, so that YouTube says this person is somebody that is a serious content creator. From what we know from Gary Vaynerchuk, and he mentions this, and we have mentioned it a number of times, he says that what you need is long-term consistency, because that will trump short-term intensity. So you have to think quantity over quality. That is just absolutely critical. We need to have a ton of videos right now. If you want to be monetized in a few months from now as a speaker, you need to have a ton of video content. And this is super important. Why? Because it's going to be your proof. In the past, what you needed was you needed to show that you have been in such and such and such and such conference. But right now, that's irrelevant. Right now, what customers want to see is the experience that you have creating videos and broadcasting. And that's a very important point.
Yeah, the important thing more than anything is to make sure that when people need to find you, they can find you. In order to get booked, what tends to happen is they're looking for somebody, they'll Google it, they'll see who comes up on the first page, and they'll start comparing. So they'll say, right, who have we got? Let's have a look. You look at some people, I'll look at some people. And literally they'll find something about you and compare that to something about somebody else, because they've all got to have a consensus about getting the right person. So you need to make sure you're easy to find. And whilst I agree with that about the quality isn't as important as the quantity, you still need to raise your game with the quality, because if it's not good enough, you look like everybody else and you get hired because you're different from everybody else.
It is a learning curve. If you think only quality, that's going to actually put a stop on people to actually taking action. The important thing is that you start creating videos. In fact, you need 500 videos, as we were saying, 421 videos, in order for you to be considered a serious content creator. Now, if you think about, oh my goodness, 500 videos, that's crazy. Well, don't see it like that. I mean, it's just a matter of creating videos little by little. Every time that we upload a video, our videos are better and better and better and better and better and better and better. And that's the whole point. You need to make sure that you feel 100% comfortable creating those videos. Right now, more than ever, we have to be willing to do what most people are not willing to do. And I think that's just incredibly savvy and incredibly powerful. Let me just show you why. Here's a screenshot from a website called Channel Crawler. Channel Crawler, what it will do is it will find the YouTube channels. It's a search engine for YouTube channels. Only 233 channels are there with the term public speaker. There's a huge opportunity now. That doesn't mean that not every public speaker has a channel, because, I mean, for example, when I went there, my channel was not even there. And I said, well, what happened? The thing is, it's not optimized for public speaker. So I am sure that if you possibly have a channel right now, possibly it's not linking there because it was not optimized for public speaker. Now, what is the opportunity there? The opportunity is that if you are listening to what we are saying, for you to position yourself there as a top of the food chain, it's going to be very easy. The moment that you're positioned, you will be in a huge advantage because you will be able to sell your skills a lot faster and a lot better into the hybrid world, the virtual world, or even the live stages world.
When we're sharing ideas and tips and different tricks, it's down to you to take action and implement it. I mean, one of the things that Ernesto and I have been doing for years is when we come across really cool ideas, we don't just put it on the back burner and let life catch up, because then when you return to it, you'll forget it and move on. As soon as you hear these tips, and I hope you're doing it with this show, get them written down, do them immediately, because literally other people will get into the game with other things as well. You can fast track towards the gigs and the success just by doing these things straight away as soon as you hear them. Really important.
One of the things that I want to show you today is that YouTube is not stupid. And that is one of the things that I want you to understand. What do I mean with YouTube is not stupid? As we were saying, I mean, there's possibly 2,000, 3,000 speakers that have a YouTube channel. Now, the challenge is YouTube is not stupid, but if you don't tell them what your channel is about and what your content is about, simply you're not going to be ranking. So it's not that they're stupid, it's actually stupid not to tell YouTube what your content is about. So just think about it. The more specific you are in letting YouTube know what you do, the easier it is for you to have your content appearing there. Now, if you have one video, if you have two videos, if you have three videos, might not be very impressive for a client to hire you. But if you have a ton of videos, that just gives you a ton of authority. Now, that's one leg, which I think is very interesting. Now, let me just share with you, and this tip that I'm going to be sharing with you is going to save you hours and hours and hours of work. The moment that I understood this, I understood how incredible it was to pay attention to what I was doing before, because previously we were just creating videos and they were not ranking, or nothing was happening with it. So let me just show you here what is the essence of the algorithm from YouTube. First of all, there's three elements that you need to have. One is the click. The click happens because of the title that you give to your video, and also because of the thumbnail, which means the little picture which is there on your video. If that thumbnail does not entice the click, it's just not going to happen. The second thing that you need to have there and think, it's going to be the watch time. That watch time is incredibly important. And the next thing is the engagement. So right now, if you're watching this video and you're thinking that this is important, please make sure to give us a comment or give us a like, because that's exactly the fuel that YouTube requires to say, you know what, this information is great and we would like to have more information. Dave, now you know what are the algorithm features that you require. Do you think that this is just important to know?
I think it's essential, because here's the thing. Right now, all the agencies around the world who used to be able to demand commissions and be talking to all the corporates, they're in free fall as well. They have no idea what they've got to do to be able to make things happen. Now, what we're seeing here for speakers is the same as what happened in the music industry when you had to go for a record label, but then you suddenly didn't. You'd create a YouTube video, you'd start to get liked by people, and they would find you. You can now, doing this, you can now create an audience that loves you, follows you, and will promote you when there's an opportunity to have you speaking, because you're that guy or you're that girl that I watch all the motivational videos from. If you don't do it like that, then you got to hope that you're on somebody's website and they decide that you're the person that they want to promote that day. And we're not talking about normal websites now, because 95% of the speakers have not got their act together. I mean, I don't know how many people watch this video, but I guarantee that most people who need to know it haven't watched it, don't know about it. So using these techniques, it positions you better, but more than anything, it means that your own success is driven by you, not by anybody else. You can get people to help you with the SEO and get people to help you with the keywords, but ultimately you can be your own broadcasting factory, your own marketing arm of your own success without relying on anybody else.
Let us know what you're thinking. I mean, right now we have been sharing a lot of great information. Let us know in the comments what you're thinking. Now we told you why this is so important. So let me just share with you another incredible pearl of wisdom, and that is, you are not your audience. And this is something that Dave and I have been learning. We have done a lot of videos which haven't really been relevant. Why? Because we were preparing videos. We thought they were interesting for us. We said, hey, you know what? Why don't we do this video? Because I think it's going to be really interesting for our audience. And it was something that we were really liking. Until I said, hey, hold on a second. I think what we need to understand is we have to figure out what people are searching for, so that we will be able to provide that information. So you are not your audience. Before you go crazy, start doing content, just type several of the keywords of the stuff that you do, of your knowledge, of your know-how.
Niche.
Of your niche, exactly. Just see what people are looking for and then create videos. I'm gonna give you a tip which is very interesting. If you are a leadership speaker, search for leadership speakers, see which one is the video that has the most views. And whenever you find that video, watch that video and then create a better version of that video. And that's going to really start giving you huge and instant positioning. Isn't that a great tip, Dave?
It is, and it gets into the thing that we talked about what is the right way to repurpose somebody's content and enhance somebody's content. Success is leaving clues, and if somebody's already got a really successful video, you can piggyback off all the people, especially as YouTube normally shows a video and then gives you a couple of options of what to watch next. If you're very close in your content or in your thumbnail or in your keywords to what people have already watched, you will find that they'll watch you anyway. And you'll just find your numbers go through the roof just purely because of piggybacking of something that was already successful.
I believe that YouTube is the next speaking platform, because that's going to be the place where you're going to be showcasing all your knowledge, all your information. And it has been like this for a number of years in different industries, in gardening, in gaming, in all sorts of things. It is surprising that it hasn't really happened in the speaking industry. But right now, I believe more than ever, it will happen like that. So right now, if you want to already get yourself into the right mood for the virtual and video world, you have to think like a broadcasting apprentice. Every video that you upload, you are learning. The first episodes of the Toilet Paper Diaries till now, and that was just a few months from now. Is there a difference?
They should have been flushed down the toilet alongside the paper, to be honest with you. They're not the quality that we're exuding now, but one thing that is true is you can see the learning curve right from the very beginning, and that's just as valid. But they weren't terrible, but they were different. And I think that when somebody starts making their videos and start making their podcasts, they worry about being too, I've got to be at least as good as this. Don't. Just start working on it. You'll grow as you get on with it. And when you pay attention to what you've just done, give yourself a hard time and say, oh, what could I improve? What could I tweak? What would make it better? But don't give yourself such a hard time so you don't think you can improve and you give up. It's always a case of being a work in progress. And whilst you're doing this, there's a ton of other people who will start doing it and then they'll stop because they don't like their own self-talk about it. So it's a journey. Keep moving.
Yeah, exactly. It's a journey. And first of all, keep on uploading videos. Get yourself into an orbit. And that is actually the word. And I think it's very cool. So where are you right now? We are in an orbit. That sounds even funny. So yeah, we are in an orbit. And right now we have already accomplished 500 uploads. Our next step is the 1,000 subscribers. And then little by little, we will get into the 4,000 hours. This is going to be taking approximately 8 to 9 months. But this is getting us into the right path. And what I think for me, the most interesting path is not so much this, but the fact that we are growing and that we are becoming better broadcasters. Next thing that I wanted to share with you, because of course the subscribers is also very interesting. I want to share with you a short little secret, which I think is really cool. If you are watching right now, please go to bit.ly/subsecret, and you're going to get into our channel and then subscribe. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is you have to make sure that everywhere you share a way for people to subscribe into your YouTube channel. And what you do is you get your YouTube channel, and then, for example, ours is youtube.com/speak in Dubai, and then you put !sub_confirmation=1, and then immediately people will be able to subscribe to your channel. And this is, it's a slow trick, but the more you use it, the more that people start getting into your channel. We have added this into the description of each of the videos, and so far we have this week gone to about 120 extra subscribers. So that's just an important thing for you to know. Is that it's a bit of a technical tip, Dave. I know that you're not the most technical person, and that is not your forte, but I know that you will enjoy this little tip, right?
To be honest with you, most of the technical stuff doesn't appeal to me so much because I like to work in the creative space of creating new content all the time. But I think that unless you're willing to hire somebody to take care of all these kind of things on your behalf, you need to be a jack of all trades. You need to have a pretty good understanding of how the thing comes together. Otherwise, you end up creating really nice videos that nobody's going to watch. And they didn't watch it because you didn't make it available for people to be searching for certain keywords. So everybody needs to get a couple of these things on board. And I wonder, Ernesto, whether this is really interesting stuff. It's really cutting edge stuff. Do you think this gets taught at universities? Do you think that people on courses are getting to learn all this stuff together? I would be surprised if they are.
No, absolutely not. This is stuff that you keep on learning, and what we're trying to do is we are creating those shortcuts for you because we want to make sure that you are successful. Right now, the next couple of months for speakers are going to represent a huge opportunity between success and failure in 2021 and 2020.
I'll tell you what it's like. To put in perspective, especially if you follow English football, imagine that somebody said, right, we're going to start a football league. Who wants to be in the Premier League? Who wants to be second division, first division, so on? And literally, when this changes in a couple of months' time, everyone will have found their way of getting relegated or being promoted to the next level. If you do this stuff, even if you're just starting, you'll be at second division with opportunity to go to first and then Premier. Premier are all the biggest names that you could ever think of. Right now, what Ernesto and I are doing is showing you the tips that will raise you above the game, make it at least semi-professional if you're not already professional, because the game is going to change. Right now, there's a reset button on everything, and that makes it really exciting if you know what to do.
Exactly. So now the question is, how can you create your videos? What's exactly what you need to do to create your videos? So Dave and I have created a recipe for you. Because if you follow this recipe, you will be able to get your videos done and they will be correctly positioned and you will be in your way to success. So here's the recipe, and just follow the recipe. Make a screenshot of these and you will be able to do it. So you need to create 12 to 15 minute videos. That is the best length on the videos, which people are always asking. So how long should my video be? And the reason why 10 to 15 minute videos is just the right term is because that gives enough time to create more view time. If you have a 1 minute video or 2 minute video, you will need a ton of videos, a lot more videos, because of course the watch time is a lot less. So the important thing is make sure that your videos are between 12 to 15 minutes long. Now, whenever you are creating a video, and look at how we are doing it ourselves, ask tell me more question. Like we say, who would like to know the way to position yourself in YouTube? Now, that's a great question to start a video with. So now that's exactly how you ask your first question. Then you're gonna go into a stinger, a jingle. It's like a little jingle. So if you do not know how to do that, just contact Dave and myself, and we will be happy to help you with those kind of things. Next step is you have to mention the 3 points or the 7 points that you're going to be covering on that video. So as they say in sales, first of all, you tell them what you're going to tell them, you tell them, and you told them what you told them. It's exactly the same thing as it has always been. So today we're going to be covering 3 strategies on how to position yourself in YouTube. Can you see how it goes? That is the next part on the recipe. Then the next thing that you need to do is you are going to tell them to subscribe and to smash the notification bell. You have heard us saying it multiple times. Why do we do it? Because of course we need to make sure that it's done. And also, if you mention something interesting, tell them. And also please comment on the comments below. Right now, we are also telling you again, please comment on the comments below, because that actually shows YouTube that what you're actually sharing with people is interesting. That's part of the engagement. Now, the next element that you need to do after you do that, you share your points, whether they are 7 or they are 3 points. That is perfectly fine if it is 3 or 7 or whatever it is. And then just to finish your video, what you are going to do is you're going to invite them to subscribe and watch more videos. That's it. If you just follow this exact recipe and all your videos are in this exact same way, you're going to start getting more and more and more traction.
Well, here's the evidence of why that works. Whenever we show a video on the Toilet Paper Diaries or Fast Forward of somebody that's explaining something, whether it's a Gary Vaynerchuk or something like that, it always has these elements on it. Now, why is that important? Why is that evident? Well, we wouldn't have found them unless they were at the top of the food chain when it came to those searches on certain subjects. So what they've done is created a living, breathing thing that promotes itself and gets found by people who then promote it to be found by more people. And so what you've got here are the hooks that allow people to want to find more and want to subscribe and want to make sure that it is something that they enjoy interacting with. If you just do your own thing because you believe it's the right thing to do and you believe in it, you'll end up with an audience of 1, because this is now the Wild West. And it's quite clear that the big guys have got teams working on this. You don't need teams. You just need to work on the stuff that you have in front of you and follow these formulas. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you really enjoyed it, then make sure you watch one of these 2 videos afterwards. And Ernesto, why are you staring up the top of my head?
Dave, your hair is actually thinning out.
Well, if it is, it's about the only thing getting thin on this show.
Here on this side, we have some more amazing videos for you to watch.